Hey collective, first of all I want to say that apologies. I am in a very strange space energetically right now, and this is something that I've been working on for some time now, so apologies that my energy might be a little bit wavy. I want to clarify that no, I'm not high. I feel like a few people have thought this at certain points in this journey. I do not smoke weed, and yeah, I want, on that note, I'm just going to share that I've had quite the year, everyone. I definitely feel like I've been reliving my teenage years again. This teenage rage came out of nowhere, and that was something that I really had to work through. And it's been an interesting time. I have been partaking in things and doing things that I just didn't think that I would be doing ever again. So, you know, I smoked cigarettes, I did smoke some CBD. I was in a space of really just it felt like a crash out moment at a certain point in this journey this year, and I had no idea what was going on, but I really genuinely felt like I was living my best downfall life in the most healthy way that I could possibly put that into words. So this is where I say, you know, healing doesn't look like you think it's going to, and at times you are guided to do things and behave in certain ways that, you know, might to the outsider seem reckless, seem like you are not doing the right thing for you, and you know, you have to put your own specific boundaries in that space. But there's certain points in this journey where it's felt like I had to revert to a space within me that had already been, but I was dealing with it in the here and now in a parallel time in a very different way. And there's been loops and cycles that I've been working through throughout this time that has been incredibly interwoven to the fabric of the collective shadow of humanity. And I know I'm not going to be the only one that resonates with this energy, but I want to say that what I was doing in the Light Renegade space, specifically with the Darkness series, with connecting to Luciferian energy, was to condense some real dense timelines that I'd been working with for many, many years, that all of us Light Renegades have been working through for many, many years for humanity. This is not our first rodeo. This is not my first rodeo here, but this was a lifetime where everything that we've been doing for so many lifetimes was culminating to a complete convergence point, which is why it just felt so crippling in its understanding, because I genuinely went from 0 to 1,000 and some in such a short space of time, and that was with divine purpose. And I couldn't entirely know what was happening, you know, kind of at the mental capacities, because I was dealing with so much energetically all at the exact same time that to try and make sense of it mentally, it would have just completely shattered me. So I had to really do everything blind. And, you know, I didn't really know how to explain what was going on for me to a lot of people around me, specifically my family, my friends. I just was like, I have no idea what is going on half the time, but I just know and feel called and feel guided to be doing everything that I'm doing at this moment in time. And I don't know how to make it make sense to you. You know, I love you so much, but also this is just what I'm doing now. And it has been interesting to try and navigate this space on so many levels. There's been times when I've really had to take a step back from people in my spaces, in my circles, and you know, I've really had to trust in the energy. And I want to say that anything that I've done, it hasn't been out of malice. It hasn't been out of a space of, you know, I think I'm better than you, or it hasn't been, this has been to punish you. I've literally been taking orders from my people and spaces above and outside of me. There's some things that I had to do in the most recent years that I genuinely did not want to do. There were things that I felt like, you know, went against how I was feeling about some things, but I am not the higher purpose in my spaces, in my situations, and I had to do things that I was being told was for the highest good. So please be aware of that. And please be aware of where you perhaps have been in your spaces on seemingly autopilot too, and perhaps doing things that felt so out of character for you, but feeling like this was something that you had to do. And please, you know, I'm not condoning I don't know, any sort of behavior here that is here to harm others in a very specific way. But I'm saying sometimes, you know, I've had to step into my shadow in order to fight the greater shadow. And I'm being guided to share something that I feel incredibly uncomfortable sharing, but I think it's important to. And I want to say that for the past few months, I've been looking into the eyes of beings that are not of this realm, working through other people, seeing them hop into other people's vessels, into other people's energies. And I want to say that I had my hands around a person's throat not that long ago, a family member of mine. Not that I had them tightly around the throat, but I had to grab them around the throat and speak to them. and say to them, well, what was inside of them, that they had to leave and that I knew that they were there. So I've been in some real extreme expressions of this pathway, this journey, this lifetime. And over the past few weeks, things have happened in my own personal spaces that has allowed for me to not leave any room for question marks around my pathway and my journey. I have been knee deep in all of the work that we've been doing over here in the Light Renegade space, specifically the Darkness series, for the past, I want to say 6 to 8 months. It has been incredibly treacherous in my spaces. I've been going to spaces, I've been seeing and experiencing things that, quite frankly, would terrify other people. And I had to be there. I've had to be there to witness the things that have been going on. I've had to be there to be a helping hand to so many, not just in this realm, but in others. And I've really just been having to trust my intuition and my soul guiding me forward, because to make it make sense through the 3D plane of existence, through the mental capacities, it just doesn't. But I haven't been living, quote unquote, a normal life for the entirety of my life. I now understand and I can see ever clearly. And I want to say that we are living in layered times. There is so much that happens all at the exact same time, and we timeline jump more often than I think we notice. But as you start to heighten your sensitivity to being here, as you start to become more at one in your remembrance, you start to really notice what is happening. And it's really interesting to me because I've really been having to understand my physical vessel, my body, my everything in a whole new way. I am the most sensitive that I've been to absolutely everything. So I've really been having to look at how I want to live my life moving forward, because it's incredibly different to what I first thought that I was going to be able to be doing this lifetime. Doing the things that I want to do. The capacity that I have to be able to be in the energy of others is so much smaller and so much shorter than I had anticipated, because I'm just so open to everything. And I am here to hold frequencies and vibrations that, aren't of this realm, that we haven't experienced this lifetime. They are of this realm because it's just natural energy, it's just life force energy, sorry. So they are of this realm, but it's of the highest vibration that we've ever experienced here. So I'm just knocking and locking heads with some frequencies here. So I've had to be very cautious and very intentional with where I've placed myself and my energy. So I can't just be living, like I used to. I couldn't just be in the spaces like I used to be, because one, it cripples me. Two, I'm too triggering for some. And three, it just makes a very uncomfortable space for many. So I have to be cautious of what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, where I am. And this has been for the entirety of my life. I now see any bit of my life that I've been living this lifetime hasn't been just for myself. I have been around beings that I've known for many, many lifetimes, so many beings that I chose to come back with this lifetime to help each other grow in our spaces. And only now can I truly take, ownership of that understanding and really take it into my heart space and be thankful for every interaction that I've had this lifetime with so many. And, even, well, the most painful has been the most beautiful to myself, because it has helped me come back to myself. And, if you'd have asked me this 2 weeks ago, I wouldn't have been in this energy. But right here, right now, I have so much gratitude for every soul that has helped me break through to being me. And, when I look back now at some of the relationships in my life and the people that I've had in my life, I'm just eternally grateful for you and everything that you taught me. And, specifically some of my long-term relationships out there. You taught me so much, and you will always have such a special place in my heart, and I hope that you know that. So it's been a lot this lifetime, everyone. And that's what I've been having to heal this past year. 2025 has been a shedding in a much different way. I want to say that I haven't been fighting, I've been embodying. I want to say that I have been shedding rather than breaking. I want to say that I've been picking up my scattered pieces and making, a fine tapestry of myself once again. Being shown images of Sally, how she's all stitched together. I feel like that's what I've been doing to myself this year, is patching up the spaces where I felt like I was just completely shattered or completely broken down. And I've been finding a new way of existing, a new way of living. But this has meant that I had to walk away from a lot yet again. This has meant that I've been having to recalibrate myself yet again. This has meant that, you know, I really have had to be intentional and so forthcoming in holding on to happiness and seeking joy. My gosh, did I find it difficult to be happy? Wow, I don't think that's something that, you know, I truly had experienced here this lifetime before now. And I think that some might be shocked to hear that, because my poker face was so good. Me pretending that I knew what I was doing here, that I knew how to live here, you know, was so strong. And it was only so many that knew my true behind the scenes. There was only so many that truly, you know, saw aspects of me in my rawest form, in my most broken down form, because for the majority of this life I was just so confused. I didn't know how to be here. I was on side missions, side quests for a lot of this lifetime, but also I was halted from my pathway. I was kept back. I was, you know, stunted in my spaces because there were beings around me that didn't want me to fully awaken to my capacities, because they knew what this would mean for so many this lifetime, and how many I was going to be able to step forward and to help them on their pathways too, which meant that they wouldn't be able to exist anymore. So I've lived a very interesting life. You know, I definitely think there's gonna have to be a book out of me at some point, because I think, quite frankly, someone just wouldn't believe everything that I have experienced. But evermore, I'm just grateful. And I said this in the Mintakan message. And if you haven't partaken in the Mintakan messages, I think there is 5, there'll be 6 after today. Please do, because this is the next pathway and the next trajectory of our spaces here with galactic beings, and specifically understanding humanity's frequency at this time. So I'm taking a major pivot, everyone. And, you know, this is always divinely orchestrated for me. I just didn't see it coming. And that was been with divine purpose. I have not been given the full ins and outs. There is still a lot behind the scenes that has been worked through for all of us. And I want to say that so many in this collective are in direct tandem with everything that I've been experiencing over here, everything that all of us Light Renegades have been experiencing, which is why you were guided to us. But we are in a space of, you know, needing to come together like never before. And this does not mean that we have to be in communications with one another, you know, in this way, in this capacity. I'm starting to see where I've just been energetically connected to so many. And this past year I've been meeting so many souls, re-meeting so many souls again. And I've just thought, wow, I just didn't anticipate this. I just didn't see this coming. Such intrinsic expressions of my ancestry specifically stepping forward and waking up, and aspects of my own self and things that, you know, I just wasn't privy to, that I was connected to this lifetime, just completely coming left field, and thinking, oh my gosh, okay, there's so much more to this tapestry, to this life, to my life path, to this story than I had anticipated. So I genuinely feel like I'm at ground zero again. I'm at the starting point again. I want to say that, you know, I reached my ground zero point, and now I'm at the start. I'm the fool in the tarot. I'm ready to be taking this pathway again, taking this leap again, with everything that I've learned already in this space. And I've learned a lot. I want to say that the Light Renegade space, my time of awakening from, I want to say probably 2020, 2017 to 2020. 2020 was when everything just completely skyrocketed for me. But that whole entire time, you know, I've been awakening to this pathway. And now looking back, I can see exactly where there was no other way. Everything that I've been doing, experiencing, has been so heavily guided, and not just for myself. And I've continued to step forward, not just for me, but for so many. And I've been having to make and take real hard hits and do real difficult things to help others. And it's not been fun for me. And I think some have a very warped perception of me, because I had to act and be in very specific energies to be able to fight what you were fighting. So I want to say that I am completely a lover at heart. There is an energy within me that knows how to fight, that knows how to combat, that is very good and trained in combat. So I know what to do in those spaces. And, you know, when I'm fighting for the light, I enjoy fighting. I would be lying if I said that that wasn't the truth. But if I don't have to fight, I don't want to be. I don't want to be fighting. But somewhere on this pathway, you know, I felt like I had to. I felt like I was, quite frankly, fighting for my life. And not just mine, the lives of others too, that I really cared about. So I would do anything to protect them. I did everything that I could to protect some, and I chose that. I chose that. Um, So I'm grateful for everyone that has stepped forward. I'm grateful for everyone that has supported us in the Light Renegade space. I could never have anticipated what all of this was going to mean. Sean L. Francis, you completely changed my life. I will be eternally grateful to you and all the divine beings that you've put me in contact with, that I get to call Star Sisters, Soul Sisters this lifetime. You've all shaped me into the being that I am today, and I wouldn't be here without all of you. So thank you for everything. Thank you for your light, for your love, for your tales of your life, everything that you've gone through, everything that you've worked through, and specifically the Mintaka messages. You know, remembering that there are souls that are coming to the end of their lives. There's been souls that have lost their lives in this lifetime, specifically this year, specifically, that have shaped me, my ancestors, past over loved ones, not just of myself, but of others that have been so interwoven into my life's journey, my life story. Souls that I'm meeting now, you know, our ancestors know each other, and it's just been earth shaking, earth shattering in the highest degree. So I want to say that be open to change, be open to surprises, be open to happy accidents, happy surprises, because it's all working out for our highest good at all times. And at certain points in this journey, I just couldn't see the wood for the trees. I wasn't supposed to. If I had have fully known exactly what was happening at all times, it would have shattered me. It wouldn't have made sense. But also, I've been having to work in very specific ways for very specific people. And, you know, I like to think that I did everything that I could. I tried my best for everyone. And I'm still here. I'm still here by my surprise. I didn't think that I would live a long lifetime this lifetime. There's still part of me that's feels like, yeah, I'm not sure what this means, because I can't see too far in the future for myself yet. You know, there are so many that I can see and do share messages for them, for their futures, but I've never been able to see that for self. So whatever this pathway has in store for me, I'm open to it. And there is so much to experience. There is so much out there still that is here for the greater good, that is here for the lighter frequencies. And this is something that I've been having to remind myself each and every day, that it's okay to be here and be happy. It's okay to be here and to not be fighting. It's okay to be here and to be supported and to have arms open wide to be received by others. And I think that's been something that I've been finding the most difficult of late, is really trusting again, is really opening up to being loved again. Oh, it's felt very uncomfortable to be in a space of being deeply loved and held by others. Because for the longest time I felt like I was having to fight it. If I'd let the love in, it felt like it was going to break me. So it's a whole new way of existing that I've been learning. That I've been learning on my own, is what I want to say. This is the quietest that beings have been, in my own personal spaces, and that's been with divine purpose, because I've been having to learn to stand on my own 2 feet, because I embody everything that they are. And I think this has been something that I found difficult this lifetime, because I didn't feel that way. I felt like this pathway was pushed upon me. I came kicking and screaming, dragged through the hedge backwards on this pathway. I didn't know what the heck was going on half of the time, but I just knew that I was here to do something. I knew that everything that I stepped forward towards, I felt in my heart that I had to do it, not for anything else, but for my own soul's expression. Any being that I've channeled, any expression over here in the Light Renegade space, I felt in my soul was mine to be bringing forward. So it's been difficult. It's been difficult to hold the knowing and the capacity and the depth of that, while still breaking apart at the seams, while still holding so many and guiding so much in so many other realms, space and time. And I know that so many of you in this collective know exactly what I'm speaking of, because it's been your lives too. So I'm glad that we could find each other again, re-find each other again, and I hope that there is more space for us to be communicating with one another. Like I said, I don't know what the plan is moving forward. I've just been merely a vessel at this point for so much of this pathway, but I'm ready for the next chapters, and I want to say that so are all of you. And a while back, I said, this gray space that I couldn't see was open, but it felt like a portal. This portal has been open, and I'm being told in this present given time that this portal is, Atlas, the frequencies of that, which is interesting because I didn't feel like I was connected to that at all. But I'm now understanding is that it's being channeled to me, is that because it is so of my every being, every part of me, that it doesn't feel like I'm connecting to anything because it purely is me. um, and I think that some of the collective perhaps have been missing this too. You was expecting something to happen. You was expecting divine beings to step down off a ship and, take you aboard or be able to speak to you in the ways that you were wanting. But you didn't need that because you're already embodying that energy, because you have been a walking guide here. You've been a walking angel here this lifetime already. And I hope this message hits those and you hear it in the ways that you're supposed to, because it's true. And I forever want to be humbled in my spaces because I know what it means to not be humbled here, and how this can be the biggest downfall. I have tried to fit in. I've tried to pretend that I live a normal life, knowing full well that I've never lived a normal life. And when I tried, I was just completely shattering at the seams at all realms, space, and time. I just didn't have the words for it then, but I felt like I've just consistently struggled this lifetime. And understanding that these realms existed helped me to find my freedom. I've been fighting for my freedom and for the freedom of others for a few years now, and I'm grateful to be able to understand it at the capacities that I can, and to have been able to share that understanding with so many to help them understand their lives too. And I've had to remind myself that that was why I stepped forward. I stepped forward to help others. I stepped forward to allow for others to see that they weren't alone. And so many tried to tell me otherwise. So many tried to tell me that I was just pointing a finger, that I was here to try and be above anyone else, which just simply isn't the case. But I just couldn't pretend that I was living the same life as so many. But I think now so many are understanding that they too haven't been living a normal life, because how can you here, given the understandings that we have over here in the Light Renegade space? Everyone is made of stardust. Everyone is made of the same things that I am made of. All of you have come from so many different realms, space, and time to be able to be here. There were just some of us that took on these labels as star seeds, as light workers here to help you understand, and to help you see that there was something else out there for you to be connecting to. There was something else out there, and be that beacon for you to be able to see it is possible. Everything that I've experienced, you can experience too in your own personal way, and that has to be the truth for you. However you are experiencing this pathway is the best for you. So you need to learn to live with that and that understanding, and know that you can always grow in your spaces. But how my life path is played out, I promise you, I wouldn't want to gift it to anyone, because I have such a great poker face, everyone. But I promise you, this pathway, this life has just been utter pain for the majority of it. And that's not me wanting to play the victim here. That's just simply how it has personally felt for me. So although I had a smile on my face, although I was here, there, and everywhere in some social circles at certain points in my life, I was completely shattered behind the scenes. I was a lost soul. Most of that time I think I spent propping other people up, which I hope that they can now see too. And I was labeled the problem. I was labeled the black sheep. I was labeled the problem for many years. And now I see actually the problem was always the resolution. And I've been here to be the resolution for so many. I've been here to break the mold. I've been here to be the rebel. I've been here to disrupt, to tear down, to bring those tower moments to so many. And at a certain point in their journey, they're going to understand that I did that with love. And until that time, I've had to bear the weight of that cross. It's been difficult. But it's all been my pathway, and I chose it, and I truly wouldn't have it any other way. But it has been tough love for me this lifetime, and I've had to show tough love to so many too, and that's been difficult. And I just couldn't see that at the time. So many things I went through I felt was there to harm me, to hurt me, but I was taking that hit so that others could grow, so that I could grow too. So I'm eternally grateful for everything, for all of this pathway, for all of this journey. And I want to say that, please make sure that you are taking care of yourself, and specifically now. I always see that I'm just ahead of this collective energy. So I think some of you are pivoting into the space of, really having to take care of yourself, really having to slow down, really having to decide where you want your life path to go, and specifically now. But I want to say that you will know when to move. So if you feel like things are going slowly, that's for divine purpose. Surrender to that. Do not fight it, because I promise you will only end up harming you. And I've learned this time and time and time again in the most catastrophic ways. So hear it from me. Don't go running at the brick wall, because the brick wall is going to turn into a magical portal at some point for you to be able to run through. So when it's a brick wall, don't try and scale it, don't try and run at it, don't try and run through it. Just let the brick wall be the brick wall until it is time. And it's funny, I realize I'm saying this now because I watched the Harry Potter movies. I didn't read Harry Potter books. I was out here reading the Anne Rice Chronicles, far too young. So when it came to Harry Potter, I just wasn't interested. So I watched the movies. I think this was in 2019 or 2020 it came to be. And I was so devastated when the movies ended, because I absolutely adored the realms. And not a 2 weeks after, my life just completely turned into Harry Potter. And it was one of the most divine synchronicities, moments of pure divine magic that I will always be eternally grateful for. I was devastated that that world had ended, only to realize that I've been reawakened to understand that my life has been Harry Potter. My life has been this mystical and magical experience all along. I just wasn't in the full capabilities to be able to see it, and I was under a lot of disruption and a lot of pain for the most part of it, so I couldn't enjoy those spaces. But now I'm learning to enjoy my magic. I'm learning to enjoy my gifts that my ancestors have given me, my gifts that my lineage have, and wield them for the best and positive outcome for all. There is definitely a lot that I have to share about that when the timing is right, everyone. Again, I'm not entirely sure how this is all going to play out, but I've been deep in ancestral healing again, with myself, with other souls around me, at a much deeper capacity, and understanding so much more of my own path, my own light, my own journey, like I just didn't think possible. So I know I'm going to share my story in its rawest form. Eventually, everyone, and I feel ready to do that now. And now that I'm able to see and understand a lot more why I've been here, what I've experienced, and why, I think that my life is going to be able to help so many understand theirs as well. So I look forward to sharing with you all again. I'm ever grateful for this collective. I'm ever grateful for all of my light renegades, and the fact that we all did come together to help humanity, because I know that we've done so much. I know that you all feel it too. I know that you've all been working tirelessly in your own pathways, in your own journeys, fighting your fights too. My fight has been your fight, and your fight has been mine too. And that's something that I'm starting to see ever more, is that I take on the weight of other people's pain so that they don't have to deal with it at its deepest capacity. So that's been something I've had to be mindful of, mindful of my energy, how I'm communicating with others. And I think some are going to really resonate with that understanding too. So like I've said, I'm still open to be communicating with you, although I might not be here doing these channelings. I'm still going to be over on Instagram and on other platforms, I think, everyone. So you can contact me. My email is in the description below. You can contact me via DM over on Instagram, The Awakening Star. That is also in the description. I'm here until the 22nd of December, open for bookings. So please don't hesitate to reach out if you want to be communicating with me, and it's such a tender time, everyone. But to those that have been here the longest time, thank you. Enjoy the holidays, enjoy the festive season. I know it's not going to be, an enjoyable time for all. I know it brings up a lot, and specifically now, and I want to guide you back to the Getting Started series with Anna Maria's channelings, because there was a lot about the festive season and how it can be navigated with as much ease as possible. So I'm going to try and comb through to get those channelings for you, and tag those in the description as well. But do feel free to comb over through our content, just ask to be shown the content that is going to be most helpful for you in this present given time, and you'll be guided as such, everyone. But please do take care of you. Please do listen to what your body, soul, mind needs. You have to look after the whole of you, and this has definitely been something that I've been halted in my pathway again, time and time and time again. I just wasn't listening until this year, everyone. I've really been taking care of me, and it's helped me catapult forward leaps and bounds, and it's helped me heal my heart, like I just didn't think possible. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful for all of this. I'm grateful for all Light Renegades. I'm grateful for all of you being Light Renegades in this space. And yeah, here's to more, everyone. Here's to the next chapters. Here's to the portal spaces, the frequencies of Atlas, the frequencies of heaven on earth, the divine rainbow portals, the star babies that are being born. Yeah, I'm in awe of everything that is here, and the lighter spaces, the elemental spaces opening up for us, the vast oceans, the sea creatures. Oh my gosh, the sea creatures, everyone has been stepping forward in a ways that I just couldn't have ever possibly imagined. And I'm just eternally grateful. But that's all from myself. I'm being told to remind everyone to connect with their personal dragons to everyone. And that's something that I've been working on behind the scenes. So if you would like to know more, please do not hesitate to reach out. Please do leave your email in the description below and I can share some content with you. But for now, everyone, that's it from me in this space of the Light Renegades. I'm not sure what this means, if I'm being completely honest with you, everyone. I've just been told to pause here and I'm pivoting in my spaces. I'm going down in again to the depths to heal some more of myself before stepping forward again. So I don't know when I'll be back with channelings like this. I've been told to pause here, but I know that we will be back when it is time, when it feels in alignment. So do watch this space, but you can contact me, you know, if you are stuck or in a bind. There are still meditations that I put out there specifically connecting with, you know, darker energy removals, that type of stuff. The darkness series is there for you to gain deeper understanding of them from a different capacity now. I want to say that everything in my space within that has shifted so much. I look forward to sharing more about that when the time is right. But for now, we're pausing. We're giving it over to the energies out there, source, God, creator, whatever you wish to call them. They are taking the lead and they are taking the hits for us at this time. So enjoy, everyone. Enjoy the spaces that you are in. Enjoy where you can enjoy, and, you know, fight where you need to fight, and surrender where you need to surrender, and take care of you above all else. Have the highest collective understanding in mind. I'm doing this not just for myself, but for the highest good of all in all your situations, and you can't go wrong, everyone. But I'm here if you wish to be communicating with me. But that's all for myself in the Light Renegade space for now, everyone. Take care.